Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here in Sunset Park in Brooklyn, New York. Um, and I wanted to start this channel for a while uh, because I wanted a sort of online library that I can go back and refer to and document my journey and my experience through my acting career, which I just started a little over a year ago. Um, so yeah, I wanted to do this for a while, and I knew that I was coming out here, and I felt like this would be a good place and time to start it. There have been a lot of changes in my life, a lot of new things, um, a lot of positive things too. Um, so I feel like this was a good time to start the channel, begin documenting everything, and just creating like a little series of video journals that I can go back and um, look at and reflect on, and just remember the experiences that I had and will have. So anyway, um, so again, thank you for watching and welcome to my channel. I'm here in Sunset Park in Brooklyn, New York. A lot of overcast today. It's a really pretty park though. On a clear day over there, you'd be able to see downtown Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that when I first came out here, and uh, when I was first taking my stroll through the park, I saw it, and I just thought it was cool. Being able to see practically across the state, uh, just see something iconic like the Statue of Liberty. So that was cool. So anyway, yesterday we just finished the third class of the Meisner Intensive at Terry Knickerbocker Studio. My hair is going all crazy. At Terry Knickerbocker Studio, which is also in Brooklyn. And this class focuses on the Meisner technique, which was developed by Sanford Meisner, who was a legendary acting teacher and coach. Terry Knickerbocker, studied that technique, opened this studio to give other students a place to learn and really develop and hone their craft. So I'm here taking the 9-week intensive. After that, I'll be going back to Miami and planning my next steps. Anyway, that's what I'm doing here now, trying to learn, build a foundation, and develop myself further as an actor, and really understand what it means to be an actor who can deliver truthful performances, because at the end of the day, that's what acting is all about, being true and bringing emotion to the characters you play, the scenes you're in. Have a lot more to learn, but so far as I've gathered, that's what spoke to me the most in my time so far in the class. Acting, and specifically with this Meisner technique, it's all about keeping it true, which even outside of acting, that's a good application in life, because keeping it true is partly the reason that I'm here. So how did I end up here? So if we rewind a few months to July Um, I was working at a public accounting firm. I was there for about 2 years, 7, 8 months about that time. So let's say 2.5 years. And I wasn't happy working in the public accounting field. Not, not that it was a bad job, not that my coworkers were bad or the work or anything like that. We just weren't a good match. Surprise, you're not going to be a good match for everything. But when I first started, I thought it was something that I wanted. Maybe I was fixated on the money because they were paying me pretty well at the time, very well, to be fair. But I still wasn't able to overcome the underlying feelings of, unhappiness and not being satisfied in my day-to-day life. So, I guess that started to reflect in my performance at work, and they let me go. And which is fine, because I had been talking to my wife for, we had been planning for months up to this point. And we had planned on me resigning at the end of this year, 2019. But like everything in life, things don't always go according to plan. But at the same time, we view it as a blessing, because the class here in New York started on October 14th. So if I had gone with my original plan, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd still be in Miami doing who knows what. So I truly believe that it's a blessing, because like I said, if they didn't let me go, I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of this opportunity and come and take this class at Terry Knickerbocker Studio. And so far the experience has been great. So I'm happy. But prior to all of this, like I said, I was working in a public accounting firm. Before that, I had graduated college, FIU, and was working at a hospital at the time. And wasn't able to find a full-time job there. Skip a few months later, I ended up getting a job with the state of Florida, surveying nursing homes for making sure that they were in compliance with state and federal regulations, because nursing homes take care of the elderly and they have a lot of rules to follow in regards to how they care for the residents and how the facility is maintained. So I did that for about 8 months, and my friend who worked at the public accounting firm that I just left, when he told me that there was an opening there, I jumped on it. Chance to work with my friend, chance to gain some financial industry experience, which was something I wanted at the time. And I'm appreciative of that. I definitely got a lot of good experience in the realm of finance and accounting. I'm a big believer in financial literacy and its importance and its application into everyday life. So once he told me about the opening, I jumped on it. Sent in my application, did the interview, and was hired. And I started at the public accounting firm in 2017. I started February 2017. And it was around, so I was there for, you know, I got married in January 2018. So about 10 months after I started, I get married, going on honeymoon, which was great. If you've ever been to Breckenridge, Colorado, highly recommend it. It was beautiful out there. We went skiing, which was awesome. But it was around this time where I was having some feelings where I just wasn't fulfilled. That, you know, the nature of public accounting is, you know, you're inside most of the day, you're working on financial reports, preparing those documents and making sure they get out on time. And, you know, the job was fine. You know, all my coworkers were nice. The office I worked in was in a really nice area, you know, downtown in Brickell. I'm from Miami, so, you know, those of you who are from there are familiar with Brickell, and, you know, it's a nice area. But it was around this time, like February, March of 2018, where I started feeling, I wasn't feeling fulfilled from the job. And I had always been interested in acting, but I didn't feel like it was something available to me to explore. Just because the nature of the job and the industry is, you know, you have a lot of ups and downs. Some people have more ups, some people have more downs, but in any case, it's just very inconsistent. So, you know, my parents are both immigrants. They came over here with nothing, truthfully, and they were able to build a life for themselves, build a life for me and my sister, and, you know, and just give us a nice life growing up. So acting, I never felt was something that was available to me. You know, I felt like I just had to go to school, you know, graduate, get a job, you know, work, start a family, the, you know, typical thing, I suppose. And this is definitely in no way like, oh, I'm blaming my parents for not getting me into acting earlier. Nothing like that at all. Acting is my truth. It's something that I've grown to love, after, you know, pursuing an interest. I've grown to love it. So this is in no way putting blame on them. I'm just, I guess, thinking out loud. So, you know, my parents did everything that they could to give us a nice, comfortable life. And in some respects, I felt like I owed it to them to graduate, get a job, start a family, you know, get married, and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, that's what they did to provide for me, and then I would eventually do that too for my kids, you know, so on and so forth. You know, just building the ladder for future generations of AFCAMs. But anyway, going back to it, around this early 2018, I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. So, you know, I talked with my fiance at the time, well, my then fiance, and just like, you know, I'm really interested in acting. I feel, and there's an improv studio in Miami that, you know, had some very affordable classes, and so, you know, told her I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna take a couple classes, see how it goes, see if I like it. You know, no hard commitments. Just take a class and see if I like it. Took level 1 and it was great. I love the thrill of being on stage, and in the case of improv, not knowing what was going to happen next, because, you know, at least when you're just starting out, it's you and your partner, and You might say one thing or do a certain thing, and there's no script, so you don't know what they're going to do. So I really enjoyed that, just being spontaneous and impulsive, and I don't want to say for once, but for once in a while, really living in the moment. Because so much of my life up to this point has been, planning and schedules and, you know, dates and appointments. So it was very structured, and the entire nature of improv is completely unstructured. There's an outer framework, but once you're on stage and, you're performing, the things you say and do, there's no script. You're just, my phone is wet. I'm recording this on my phone, by the way. I hope to get some more, professional equipment, for lack of a better term. And this will be going on unedited. I'll be editing future videos, but this one I wanted to leave unedited. So I started with improv and I loved it. And so I finished level 1, and I like the schedule that they have at Just the Funny in Coral Gables. Once you finish one level, you can immediately jump into the next level. So no long breaks. Finish one, immediately into the next one. Helps keep you fresh and sharp with your improvisational skills. So it was around levels 2 and 3 where I truly felt like, okay, I really like this. I'm having a lot of fun. I think I want to really explore a career in acting and its possibilities. Because, like deep down, I feel like I'm a creative person, and I wasn't able to exercise my creative muscles at the state of Florida, government job, or at the accounting firm. Both places were very structured and had specific formulas and protocols in place that had to get done, and things had to get done a certain way. So there's not really too much room for creativity in either one of those jobs that I had. So I felt like there was a lack there. So like I said, once I started taking improv, I would go take classes at night. I would get out of work, go take my class, and was able to exercise my creative muscles and get the creative juices flowing and all that. And it was great. I felt like it added balance to my life, and it made me happy to go to the studio, get up on stage, and play with another performer. So I went through all the levels, 1 through 5. I took a Herald workshop at Just the Funny. I even took some classes at a local theater, Actors Playhouse, which focused on some more traditional acting principles. And after a few performances and a few shows, I was just getting excited. I was really liking how far I had come, stepping out of my comfort zone, because getting up on stage, I'm sure for a lot of people is difficult. And by the way, for level 1 and whatever, there were actually a lot of people in the level 1 class who weren't even there looking for an acting career or anything like that. Some people just wanted to improve their English, Some people wanted to be better public speakers. Some people wanted to be have better presentation skills. So even if you're not interested in acting, I still highly recommend improv. It's a fun thing to do, and you know, you'll learn about yourself, and you might even learn something new that could help you in your everyday life. But anyway, so I was taking my improv classes, and I knew that acting as a profession is what I wanted to do. And fast forward to July 2019, I ended up getting let go from the public accounting firm. And then a couple days later, I actually had already planned to take a vacation to Ireland with my now wife and my in-laws, and that was great. Big thank you to my wife and my in-laws for completely arranging that. That was a wonderful experience. I'd never been to Europe before. If you've never been, I highly recommend Ireland. It's a good way to kind of dip your toe in the European waters. It's easy to get around. Everyone is super nice and friendly. And it's a good first experience and a good way to kind of dip your toe in that water. But anyway, so I lose my job. I go on a 2-week vacation to Ireland, come back, and begin exploring, acting class options and what was available. And unfortunately, in Miami, where I currently live, there's not too much in the way of acting classes. There's the improv studio, there's Actors Playhouse, and I think a couple of independent things here and there, but nothing as structured and as professional as you would find in Los Angeles or New York. So I knew I was interested in the Meisner technique. It was something that my teacher at Actors Playhouse covered. And so I began researching and trying to find classes that I could take that focus on that technique. And that's when I came across this 9-week intensive at Terry Knickerbocker Studio. And I applied. I had my 2 interviews, not auditions, by the way, interviews. It was 2 rounds of interviews, and I think they do that because they want to see who you are as a person. I don't think that we're looking, I think they understand that people aren't necessarily going to be great performers naturally. It's definitely something you have to develop. So it was 2 interviews. I was accepted, and that's basically how I ended up here. And it's been great so far. And I'm excited to see where the rest of the class goes. Like I said, we just finished the 3rd class yesterday on Monday. We have about 15 classes more to go. Excuse me. So I'm excited to see, where I end up at the end of 9 weeks. It's been a lot of fun so far. If you've watched up to this point, thank you very much. I'm super appreciative. I hope you get something from this. And if you do, let me know. because I wanted to end the video kind of, I guess, getting a little more open and a little deeper. Because like I said before, I didn't think that acting was something that was available to me due to the sacrifices that my parents made to give me a good life and also send me to college. Yeah, my parents, for both me and my sister, I'm not sure how it works, but there's a program called Florida Prepaid, and it basically allows you to, I don't know the structure of it, but it basically allows you to save for your kids' future tuition at whatever state university they apply to. So I'm very blessed and fortunate that I didn't have to pay for college either. So I felt like I had to honor their sacrifice, and I still do, but I guess it just won't be in an office. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't happy, I wasn't fulfilled, and I expressed that to them, and they understood, and so I'm very appreciative of that. So anyway, at the end of the day, I had to do what made me happy, what made me fulfilled, what really energized me and got me fired up. Because every day when I was waking up to go to work at the accounting firm, I was just like, oh my God, another day of this. But for me, acting has so much depth to it because it's more than just, reading lines or memorizing a script. There's a lot of hard work and talent and artistry that goes behind it. For those of you, and whenever you watch a movie and you're like, oh wow, they were really good, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of preparation, it's a lot of research into how a character might behave. It's a lot of work into developing the emotion that a character might have in a particular circumstance. And exploring that depth is something that speaks to me. I think some people look at acting as something superficial, and I'm sure in some ways that's true, but acting in itself as an art form, it's incredibly deep. There's so much to it. There's so much to learn, and that in and of itself is something that speaks to me. Being able to dedicate, your time to really exploring something and building upon it. In a lot of other industries, the work you do is, very shallow. For some people it's menial. For some people it's the same thing day in and day out. But at least in my experience so far with acting, it's going to be different every time. Even if you're cast in a play, let's say, you might perform your character's performance might be one way one night and might be completely different another night. And I find that interesting. And for those of you who are interested in acting but might be scared or nervous about taking the leap, it's what works for me. Try and find some classes in in your local area. Dip your toe in the water. See if you like it. Just take a class, see if you like it, and if it's for you, keep going, take the next class, and then, just see where you are. But, um, yeah, I felt like I had to do what was truthful to me and what made me happy and what really inspired me. And I'm very happy and I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am right now, where I'm able to come to New York and take a 9-week class. I understand that not everyone has that ability. So yeah, I'm very blessed and thankful. And whatever it is, maybe it's not acting, but whatever you feel is true to you, to those of you still watching, I encourage you to start creating a plan to help you realize some of your goals, realize some of your ambitions, and see what you can do to make them happen. There's a very famous saying, I couldn't tell you who said it, but it's something that always resonated with me, and it said, I'm going to try to remember it, but basically, don't be afraid of how long it might take to accomplish something, because that time will pass anyway. So don't worry if something might take you a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. If it's something that truly makes you happy, truly inspires you, take a chance on it, take a chance on yourself, and go after it. Because at the end of 1, 2, 5 years, whatever it is, if you don't at least take a chance, you might look back and say, man, I really wish I gave myself that opportunity. I wish I took a chance on starting that business or taking that class or going back to school, whatever it is. Maybe you're a couple classes away from something that'll help you get promoted at work, but you're afraid, you don't want to take them because it'll take like a year, whatever it is. I encourage you to build a plan, build a budget, because that's super important. I mentioned financial literacy and competence earlier in the video. Build a budget, build a plan, and take a chance on yourself. See if you can make it happen for yourself. I feel like it's super important to at least try. And don't look at failure as the end of the road. Just look at it as new information. Let's say you tried something and it didn't work that certain way. Now you try again and you know not to waste time doing it that way. Now you have some information, you can try it a different way. And whatever that is for you, So, I'll end the video with this, another quote, this time from Jim Carrey, who I'm sure many of you know. He was giving a commencement address at a university, don't remember which, but I remember seeing the video a while back, and basically he said that you can fail at something that you hate, so why not try something that you love? And that spoke to me, and looking back, it's kind of what I'm experiencing now. It didn't work out for me at the accounting firm. I wasn't happy there, and they let me go. So, you can call that a failure. I failed at the accounting firm. So I'm trying something that I love now, which is acting. So, I hope this inspires some of you that may have watched this super long video. And I hope to look back on this a few years from now and be like, man, I'm so glad that you took that chance. But anyway, I think it's starting to rain. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Bye.